9:27 to go here. Barnes crossover right at Giannis.
After all that talk about a bad half-court offense, the Toronto Raptors answered back in a major way with a dominant win against Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard, and the Milwaukee Bucks, beating them by 19 points and scoring 130 points in the process. The Raptors got out to a big lead in the first quarter, and honestly, never looked back.
We get in the paint, we kick out. Those are shots we want. We feel like we're open, we're going to take them. So we made our shots, we stepped in with confidence, and we just continue to keep doing that.
They were attacking the Bucks defense, getting paint touches and getting more open shots, knocking down more threes in the first quarter than they did in all of their game on Monday against the Blazers.
It really feels like when you make shots, then it's right way. When you're missing shots, it feels that it's the wrong way. You know, it's such easy to have that bias, you know, and just based on that.
Otto Porter Jr. made his debut tonight, coming off of the bench for the Raptors, and for the first time this season, the second unit for Toronto wasn't a negative. Porter came in, knocked down some shots, made the right plays, and ultimately spaced the floor a little bit more for Scottie Barnes and Pascal Siakam to operate.
I think the way we play, get good looks, you know, I think we able to step in and knock them down. We've been getting those looks, but, you know, the guys are working hard, you know, to get in the gym, go back to the drawing board, and figure out how we can make shots, you know. As long as we play together, play hard, I think we're going to continue to get those looks and we're going to continue to knock them down.
Listen, he missed a lot of time, right? He did not go through training camp. He played only a couple of minutes in the preseason. I did not feel that it's fair to him just to throw him out there and play games. Medically, he was capable, but he went this last 7 days through a bunch of play groups, and he looked really good. He's starting to get his legs under him, and you know, when he's ready and able to go out on the court and play, he's a hell of a player to help us.
Raptors put up 66 points in the first half. The offense was clicking on all cylinders, and they finished the game shooting 40% from three. Ultimately, it was the Bucks who looked completely out of sorts. They didn't hit a three-pointer until 3 minutes into the second quarter and shot 3 of 17 in the first half from behind the arc. The Bucks looked sluggish and rigid offensively for the entire game, and while some of that can be attributed to just missing shots, the Raptors' defense did its part as well.
On defense, just staying disciplined, like following the game plan, making it hard for the best players. Obviously, the guys guarding them did a hell of a job, but it was also like a team effort. So, yeah, shout out OG, Dennis, like everyone. Scottie took some turns in there. So yeah, just like as a group, Jakob helping, just following the game plan. I thought we had better energy overall, which for us I felt like it's going to be crucial. You know, like. Because of the length and all the things that we have as a team, like we just got to come out with a lot of energy.
And while the Bucks offense was continuing to work through its warts, it was the Bucks defense that allowed them to bleed points on the perimeter. The Raptors got paint touches and dominated on the interior, outscoring the Bucks by 26 points in the paint.
You cannot score in this league if you're not scoring in the paint, and you cannot get good shots, good three-point shots if you're not touching the paint. And guys are starting to feel more and more comfortable. You know, tonight was a good game. Tomorrow we have another one, and we move on and keep building.
Scottie Barnes put up 21 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists, and notched consecutive 20-plus point double-doubles for the first time in his career. Pascal Siakam put up 26 points and hit 5 of his 8 three-point shots. OG Anunoby played some lockdown defense as per usual and also scored 16 points for his part. Now, the Bucks struggled in all departments tonight. Some of that was self-inflicted, some of it not, but this game showed you just how talented, just how explosive this Raptors team can be when they are answering and hitting on all cylinders. The Raptors put up 100-plus points per 100 possessions before garbage time in this one, which would be by far their best half-court offensive performance of the season, and is over 5 points per 100 possessions better than their average half-court offense from last season. A big part of the Raptors' half-court offense improving tonight was the chemistry between Dennis Schroder and Jakob Poeltl, specifically in the pick and roll, both defending it and on the offensive side where they just carved up the Bucks defense. And that's what I want to highlight tonight in the film room. Okay, so pick and rolls were a big part of why the Raptors offense succeeded last season when they acquired Jakob Poeltl. Him and Fred VanVleet, they became the bulk of the Raptors offense. The pick and roll was how they thrived essentially in the second half of the season. The Raptors will need to do something similar here with Dennis Schroder and Jakob Poeltl. And while Schroder isn't the shooter that Fred VanVleet is, he has been shooting the lights out to start this season. It has been putting more pressure on defenses to kind of keep them honest in these pick and roll situations. The thing is, their chemistry just isn't there yet. And tonight was probably the best example of them developing that chemistry, finding better passing angles. I think one thing that Darko Rajakovic mentioned in terms of screening angles is really important when you establish these pick and roll connections. And tonight we saw it probably at its best. And when that happens, it not only opens up things for Jakob to create for others and Schroder to create for others, but it also opens up the rest of their teammates. So let's dive into it. Okay, so this is kind of quick offense. They're running very quickly, and Schroder is so good at turning the corner. He makes a beautiful pass to Jakob as he's going up. I mean, this was the highlight of the night. Same thing here, sort of quick offense. It's pseudo transition, but Jakob gets the dump off pass. Again, it's finding the passing angle. It's finding where Jakob is comfortable catching it. And here, this time, Jakob flips the screen. So he's going left, but then he flips it right. That catches Malik Beasley off guard. Schroder leans in for a floater. Also, that's a really tough shot. And now, as the defense starts to kind of key in on this action more often, it opens up the Raptors shooters. This time, it opens up a shot for Gary Trent Jr. as the defense sags in on this pick and roll action. Jakob Poeltl with a nice offensive rebound. And honestly, Damian Lillard was having a really rough time guarding these actions. He was getting lost on these Jakob Poeltl screens, and Dennis Schroder, especially in the third quarter, just made them pay. And Schroder adds a different dynamic that Fred couldn't. He is just so quick, so he can turn the corner, just bolt right at you. And the thing is that Jakob is such a good sealer that he can kind of get away with this as well. We see him seal on that first possession, and on this one, it's a pick and roll. He kind of settles right into a jumper here because the Bucks are playing a deep drop. The fact that he's so quick, he can turn the corner on anybody and lose anybody on a screen. Another situation here where, you know, a very, very high pick and roll. The Bucks are trying to trap it, but middle of the floor, Jakob Poeltl, he makes the right play to the corner, and that's Grady Dick. Grady, that shot is eventually going to fall. Another example of, you know, helping out the teammates through this, you know, action that they run, screen the screener action. Pascal gets the flare screen, and this time, instead of flaring out, he dives to the basket. And I just want to highlight the ceiling stuff more because this is stuff that people don't notice often. Dennis blows by Giannis Antetokounmpo, and watch how Jakob pretty much seals off Brook Lopez from coming off the help side, and that makes it so that it's much easier for him, Dennis, to finish, and he gets the and one because of it as well. The ceiling plus the screening plus all of the like ancillary things that Jakob Poeltl does, he really excelled in those tonight. He was absolutely magnificent, and it helps out Dennis Schroder's game as well. Like I mentioned earlier, when you have Schroder's speed and you have Jakob's screening ability, that should be a really deadly pick and roll combination regardless of how good of a rim finisher Schroder is or how good of a shooter he ends up being this season. I think there are ways that this can be successful because of Jakob's ability to create in the short roll so that it can open up things for the rest of their teammates. And ultimately, I think that's where it'll be successful, sort of as a cog of that Raptors offense. That was their most successful offensive game, and yes, it was because they hit their three-point shots, and yes, it was because the Bucks perimeter defense has tons of questions, including Damian Lillard and Malik Beasley, but ultimately, I think having the pick and roll as sort of a function, a basis of what this offense can kind of dwell around, it makes a lot of sense. Yes, they're going to run tons of dribble handoffs. Yes, they're going to do different things other than pick and rolls. The Raptors, even to start this season, are the fourth last frequent pick and roll team in the league. They're not going to run tons of pick and rolls, but as a way to try and get something to go, the Dennis Schroder, Jakob Poeltl pick and roll is something that's important moving forward. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments and all that stuff. We got Philly, we got Toronto, we got a national TV game tonight, so that should be a lot of fun as well. See you guys for another recap. Peace.